Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to improve your hitting in MLB The Show 23. You guys can see these are some of my best hitters in which I have a lot of at-bats, and I also am batting a pretty high percentage. Now, in no means am I going to tell you guys I am the best hitter in this game, because don't worry, I still swing the bat just like everybody else, where I will swing at stupid pitches and I will do stupid things. However, I still am having some pretty good success in this game, and I figured why not go ahead and share some of that success with you guys. So if you guys enjoyed this video, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you guys are new, hit that subscribe button to the channel, and let's get into these hitting tips. So this is actually from a BR game earlier on today, in which, again, my first game of the day, I was able to hit 3 straight bombs. Again, it's BR, nothing too crazy, especially with how easy it is to hit in BR. Again, I'm not saying this is anything crazy. This is just where I want to begin showing you guys really the best things to do with your PCI and everything like that. Now, as far as your PCI goes, there is really no best settings in the game. It really is what you guys just do prefer. I personally do use the bat PCI with nothing else around it, mainly because to me, you can see the ball a little bit better. There's nothing really blocking the screen as much, and I feel like it's a little bit more realistic trying to piece up a bat to a ball, similar to what you do if you were actually trying to hit. So let's get into this video and kind of break things down again, how I hit in this game and how I do have success in this game. So you guys can see here that first things first, you guys can see I always do the same thing. I always end up dropping my PCI. I think this is something that a lot of people do. So you guys can see right when this ball comes out, I drop my PCI. It's just something that I do force of habit, as I'm sure a lot of you guys do. When you guys anchor your PCI, if you do not take advantage of that, I don't know what to tell you. I always anchor mine at the top middle spot because I know I naturally pull it down. That is the first tip I want to give you guys, because when you guys do that, it will help reduce how far you obviously are dropping it. And no, I don't mean I just slam my PCI down. I gradually bring it down, and then you guys can see I do track the ball a little bit better kind of by doing that. So first things first, you guys can see we hit an absolute bomb out of the park. Good to go. We'll skip around here a little bit. The very next batter, the very next pitch, boom, same thing. We hit another nuke. We're going to go to the third batter of the inning. Again, guys, same thing. First pitch in, you guys are going to see I drop my PCI, and then I always track it right back up to the ball. Now, going back to the beginning of this clip here, I want you guys to pay attention that every single time what I do is my first instinct, as soon as I see this ball leave the pitcher's hands, I'm trying to identify what pitch it is. Obviously, that is something that I'm sure a lot of you guys know. Obviously, that is a big part of baseball, but identifying what the pitch is really important, because you're going to obviously know which way the ball is going to spin, if it's going to drop or if it's just going to stay straight. Now, right here, obviously my opponent, you know, what a lot of people do is I knew this was going to be a sinker, right? You guys can see that movement where it does start to come back a little bit. And as soon as I identified this, you guys can see I'm moving my PCI right into the middle of the plate. Now, this is a pitch right down the middle. Obviously, a lot of you guys could probably figure out how to hit an absolute nuke off this pitch. This one, though, had a little bit different of movement. Same sort of thing, though. Again, I'm tracking the ball. This is a good tip that I want to give you guys, because a lot of people try to do the same thing where they take their PCI and they move it around like crazy, and as soon as that ball leaves the pitcher's hands, they try to track the ball with the PCI. So they will start up top and they will follow the ball as it comes down or as it drops to the side. Whatever the case, you don't want to do that. When you actually end up tracking the ball, though, like I said, itself, and you focus solely on the ball, you then can kind of figure out where that ball is going to end up going. So again, going back into this last home run that I hit here, you guys can see that my idea is that as soon as I see that ball start to drop, I put my PCI in the bottom left-hand corner of the strike zone. Now again, doing that, it helps you guys track the ball a little bit easier. And again, you're not trying to chase the ball when getting under it, getting over it, whatever the case is. This is just going to help you guys get perfects a lot easier. Same thing again with this final hit. I drop my PCI down, and then I gradually kind of bring it back up until I realize that ball is going to be going right in that bottom part of the strike zone, in which we absolutely hit a nuke off the bat for, I actually don't even know who this is, for Anthony Santander. So again, hitting in this game, guys, a little bit easier than you guys probably think. It really comes down to tracking the ball and not so much tracking it with your PCI, but more with your eyes. You guys can see that probably my best hitter is Kondo. Now, the reason why this is because a lot of people, one, use righty pitchers. At this stage in the game, at least as of right now, again, there isn't really that many good lefty pitchers. So stacking your lineup of lefties really isn't the worst decision. But again, again, you guys can see 42 hits with Kondo, 21 of them being home runs. He is an absolute tank machine and can literally play almost anywhere. So if you don't have Kondo, he is definitely a card I recommend. Now, getting into actual, like, hitting tips and reading pitches and everything, one thing I'm going to say is, honestly, don't swing at pitches that you are uncomfortable with taking. I know it sounds crazy, but whether it's BR, whether it's ranked, whether it's co-op, whether it's an event game, it does not matter. If you see a pitch that you feel uncomfortable hitting, you don't have to swing at it. I'm going to let you guys know that right now. I know, again, it sounds crazy, but wait for your pitches that you want to actually go for. Now, as far as reading pitches go, of whether or not they're going to be balls or they're going to be strikes, there is a pretty good way to tell if a ball is going to drop underneath the zone a lot, and it is literally going to be the peak of where the ball goes. So if you see a ball kind of hit pretty, like when it goes up and it hits a pretty low point, you know that that ball is going to be under the zone somewhere, and you don't really want to swing at that, because if you do, you're most likely going to be over it and you're going to chop it out for a double play or something like that, and you obviously don't want to do that. Inside pitches, that is one of the hardest pitches for a lot of people to hit. Even me myself, I do struggle with inside pitches. If you guys are going up against somebody that you're noticing is spamming, those inside sinkers, those inside cutters, you want to anchor your PCI, guys. Take advantage of that. I actually, one thing, kind of getting into this community a little bit, I've seen some people talking about how, if you anchor, you're weird or whatever. That's not the case. If you anchor your PCI, it's going to help you guys hit a little bit easier. It's going to make it so you're not going to be over tracking the ball and getting on the side of it or under it or whatever. It's just going to help you guys be in a little bit better of a situation. Final tip I want to give you guys too, guys, is try to swing more on the earlier side. The reason why I say this is because online does have a little bit of a latency, which any video game does, especially when you are matchmaking with people online. There's going to be a little bit of a delay. So when you guys do go through that, you guys want to make sure you're swinging a tad bit early. So because of this, obviously with that delay online, you will be piecing the ball up a lot better than you would be if you obviously were not swinging early. So because of that, like I said, it's just another additional hitting tip that I think could help you guys out. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. Again, if these tips did help you guys out, be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button. If you guys want to see more tip videos, feel free to comment them down below so I know which videos you guys do want to see. Final thing I want to say too, I guess really quick, is with your lineup, guys, make sure you guys are spacing your players out. You don't want to have a lot of righties or a lot of lefties backing up each other. The reason why is, say that if I had my lineup looking something like this, okay, of course, I try to move Shohei and literally only Shohei. So if I try to move, if I had my lineup like this, somebody could put in a righty pitcher and would have a good advantage here against guys like Mike Trout and Rhys Hopkins. So you want to make sure you're spacing them out to where you're flip-flopping. And if you go up against a reliever or whatever the case, you're not going to be going up against the same-sided pitcher multiple times in a row. The only time I do that is having Kondo at 9 and Jazz at first. And the reason why is, again, I was a lefty mainly when I played baseball. I was a switch hitter, but I batted better lefty. So I just see the plate a little bit better lefty, and I can kind of hit lefty-lefty in this game. So that's why I do it. But if you guys are struggling doing that, just make sure, again, you guys are spacing everything out. I think by default, you're going to have, back-to-back guys unless one of them's a switch hitter. So, I mean, again, you guys could work that around. But nonetheless, though, again, guys, I hope these tips helped you guys out. And, yeah, peace.